What's happening, everyone? My name is Speedstreak. Welcome to Speedstreak. This guy discusses topics relating to video games, movies, TV shows, comic books, or anything geek-related. Now, for this video, we're going to be taking a look into the first Morbius trailer for Sony's Marvelverse. Now, for those of you who haven't heard, well, I haven't heard, I don't know if I've heard this character before, but from what I've, looked up, Morbius is known as the living vampire who was part of Marvel. And what he is actually is that he's not an actual vampire. He was actually a scientist who tried to look for a cure for his rare blood disease, and upon doing that, he actually made himself a vampire. And to be honest, that's actually a new concept for, well, the movie industry. Well, maybe. Anyways, what's interesting is that before the MCU debuted, back 20 years ago, there was actually another Marvel movie which starred a half vampire, half human known as Blade. And to be honest, from his first movie, he was actually pretty good. And what's also pretty cool is that Blade will be debuting in the Marvel Cinematic Universe in a later date. So we'll be looking forward to him. But for now, let's talk about Morbius. And from what I've read, he is quite an anti-hero. Well, for one thing, he is a created vampire. So yeah. And now that his first trailer is out, what can we expect from him? Well, it's time for us to look into Sony's next Marvelverse movie and see what Morbius is up to. Alright, and here it is, the official teaser trailer for Morbius. And what's interesting is that for him, he is in Sony's, well, superhero verse, and from what I've heard, they actually agreed with Marvel to have references from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, so we're going to be seeing that pretty soon. So without further ado, okay.
Michael, I've known you since you were a child.
Oh.
You have a gift.
Really?
You always have. If there's an answer to your disease, you'll find it.
Oh, he's a scientist, yeah. That's actually Jared Leto. Yeah, I know, he's the Joker. But he might redeem himself.
Died years ago.
What's this?
Why am I still here if not to fix this? I have a rare blood disease, and I'm running out of time.
Ooh.
This could be my last chance.
You're up to something. What is it?
Is it like the Nutty Professor?
It's not exactly legal.
I don't want to see you get hurt more than you already have.
This would be a cure.
Ooh. What? So is he like Batman? Well, definitely not. Well, with bats surrounding him. Vampire bats?
At what cost?
Oh. Ooh.
Michael, what's happening?
He's becoming a vampire.
I feel like more alive than ever.
Increased strength and speed.
Nice. Nightcrawler?
The ability to use echolocation.
That's pretty interesting.
And an overpowering urge to consume blood.
Ooh.
How far are we allowed to go?
Spider-Man! Doctor Who?
It's broken. Until the remedy is worse than the disease.
Ooh. Okay, that looks pretty cool.
Michael Morbius. Got tired of doing the whole good guy thing, huh?
What's up, Doc?
Vulture? So wait, so Morbius is in the MCU? So it's not part of the Sonyverse, but part of the MCU? Wow! I did not expect, well, wow! Okay then, I have to admit, this is actually very different and kind of has that sense of horror, kind of like the New Mutants. But I think this is going to be more like PG-13. But I think, well, I think it's going to be more violent than Venom. I'm not really sure, but it actually looks pretty interesting. And I've read on online that people were confused about the cameos of the Vulture and Spider-Man, but I'll talk more about that later as I break this down. So without further ado, let's break it down. From the beginning of the trailer, we get a quick glimpse of Dr. Morbius' childhood as we see that he often gets bullied. We see Morbius' mentor telling him that he has a gift and he can find a way to find a cure for his disease. After we get a quick clip of Morbius being awarded, as we see Morbius taking care of sick children, he was wondering himself why he was still alive, even though he thought he may have died years ago from his disease. We soon cut towards Morbius and his fiancée Martine Bancroft as she helps him trying to find a cure through bats, mainly vampire bats. Even though she questions on what he is doing, which is undisclosed, she doesn't want to see him get hurt. After he tells her that this would be a cure for his disease, we see him go to a remote location where he uses his blood to attract vampire bats. But unfortunately, it works too well, and the bats surrounded him and his companions. But, strangely enough, he survived the attack, as his fiancée watches him turn into something different. As we see his fiancée try to help him recover from the attack, he discovers that he actually feels better than ever, as he discovers that he now has increased strength, increased reflexes, as well as super speed, echolocation, and unfortunately an urge to have a taste of human blood. As we hear him question, how far are we going to go to fix something that is so broken, mainly his disease? Hear his mentor tell him, until the remedy is worse than the disease. We see him become Morbius, the living vampire. The end of the trailer shows Morbius surprisingly walk past the Vulture. I have to admit, this actually seems to be quite interesting. I mean, this is the first time we'll ever be seeing Morbius in the big screen. And I know we've seen vampire movies before, but this might take a new turn. As I stated earlier, this might be connected to the Marvel Cinematic Universe as it references Spider-Man from Far From Home, as we see him walk past a poster of Spider-Man with the word murderer. For if you have seen Far From Home with Spider-Man and Mysterio, you may understand it. But what's interesting enough is that people have pointed out that it almost looks like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man. So it actually gives it's a bit confusing for that, but it might change when the full movie comes out. We also get glimpses of the FBI officers who are hunting down Morbius, including Simon Shroud and Alberto Rodriguez. Even a quick glimpse of Matt Smith's character Loxias Crown, aka Hunger. And to be honest, I'm quite interested to see how this movie would go. Anyways, I can't wait to see Morbius this summer. So that was my reaction and thoughts for the Morbius teaser trailer. I mean, what do you guys think? Are you excited for the new Morbius trailer? What are your thoughts about it? And what are your thoughts of its connection to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Well, let me know in the comment section down below. So that's all the time I have today for this video, but don't go away, we still have plenty of news, topics, and updates to discuss soon. So stay tuned for more. So thank you everyone so much for watching. If you liked this video, don't forget to super smash that like button. Leave a comment down below to see what you think about this video, and don't forget to share a friend if you want to. And be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell to get paid for the latest content. So once again, thank you everyone so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Speedstreak out.